So here we are in the new studio. This is our new video, YouTube, husband and wife studio. Although I don't have the warden with me. We have some very important things that have to do with YouTube. You know, we have the light bulb. I don't know why that's there. We have the globe, because you have to have a globe if you travel, I reckon. And of course, the Italian switchblade. I have no idea why that's here. I thought I lost that thing. But it's also first thing in the morning. Haven't had a cup of coffee yet, so I'm a little groggy. But this is it. This is the new. We put a lot of effort into this. Shooting videos, sitting on the couch, talking, just isn't doing it. And by the way, the camera's not in the tripod. The lights are not on. This is just an ambient light from the window. I just wanted to show everybody that things are progressing. We're getting, we're buying stuff. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do this better. We really are. And it's been tough lately. I got the injury. I hurt myself, and I'm going on the road. I'm in Colorado in a couple weeks. And then I'm in New Orleans and Baton Rouge doing stand-up. Hopefully you guys come to the shows. I will post where I'm going to be at. I'm going to be at Gnarly's in Boulder. And there's a few, I don't have my calendar in front of me. And honestly, I've been doing it long enough now where I put it in my calendar. I'm like, oh, great, I don't have to remember it. So I'll post everywhere I'm going to be. I've also had some questions about, we have some new stands I just wanted to point about. I've had some people ask me how I got into stand-up. And that's an interesting question. Because I was a professional musician for over 30 years. I traveled everywhere and played. We never made it famous. We opened for some famous people, and I thought we had some pretty good stuff. I thought our music, Corella DeVille was the last band I played with that had, a couple independent record deals. That was back in the day when labels would develop you if you were in a good band, and a label, big, small, whatever, liked you. They would put you out on the road with someone bigger so people could see you. Van Halen did it with Black Sabbath. They went out with Black Sabbath. Not that we were ever on that level. But that's what they did. They don't do that anymore. Record labels don't do that. And record labels, to explain to you what record labels do to bands is kind of like you have to put it on the same level as insurance. Car insurance, house insurance, health insurance. It's all a horrible, horrible racket. If you ever study Van Halen at all, after their first record, they sold 1 million copies of their first record, conservatively. When they came back from the road, they owed the label $1 million after selling 1 million copies. Back then, records were about $8 a piece, So they made $8 million for the record label, more than that, with merch and everything. And then they came back, and Van Halen still owed them $1 million. And this was back before 1980. So if that tells you any kind of racket, it's the same thing with insurance. I had the warden's car. We were coming back from the veterinarian in Jacksonville. We have to take our exotic birds to a friggin' certain kind of veterinarian, who was great, by the way. They're wonderful vets. They're just an hour away. Coming back, something flew off a truck and broke her windshield. We got a free windshield for that because we're with Geico and we've been with them a long time. But, that's one of the only good deals there is out there anymore. There's no good deals. Everything is like a racket. Everything. Insurance, car, any company that makes $350 billion and then turns you down for a $10,000 surgery. I mean, they should be went outside and somebody kicked the shit out of them right in front of the people they love. That's just how I feel about it. But back to comedy. I got into stand-up around 2005. I started writing. I wrote 6 notebooks, just front to back, wrote jokes. I had probably thousands of things written down, and when I started, I used absolutely none of it. I don't even have those notebooks anymore. And just for the record, just to let you know, when I started doing stand up, I was terrible. There's no worse. I was terrible. I remember for a year, all I talked about was my testicles. I don't know why. I was an alternate for the Cape Fear Comedy Festival in like '09 or something. 2 of my good friends, Timmy Sherrill from Wilmington and Matt Ward from Tennessee, they did the festival every year, and I had just started doing stand up, going on stage doing it without a guitar in my hand, because I did it with the band for years in between sets, and people hated it. They were my friends, and they knew I was just starting, so I didn't get in the festival, but I was an alternate if something happened. So I went up there and did, I was still a drinker, still a heavy drinker, drinking a 5th of tequila a night. And I saw the video of my performance, and it was just, that was one of the reasons why I quit drinking. I didn't quit drinking because of my health, because I lost my family, because I quit drinking because I wanted to be better at stand-up. I know that's not very noble. But in any case, so I started doing stand-up, and it really changed my life. I quit drinking. Leo, my cat's about to jump on the camera. Leo, don't do that. And I really learned so much about myself and the world. When I started doing stand-up, I didn't have the best reputation in music. I could play. Everybody knew I could play. But nobody, I had a lot of issues getting along with people. Stand-up wasn't like that. You're still going to have trouble getting along with people, but stand-up is very singular. When you're in a band and you have a tough night, you have 3, 4, 5 other guys to commiserate with. Oh, man, that sucked. We didn't do good. You rock. With stand-up, it's not like that, I travel with a feature now, Harry Snover, who's a freaking great comic. If you get a chance, go see Harry Snover. Wonderful comic. And we've done over 150 shows together. We even went to Virgin Islands together. I mean, he's a great comic. You don't, when you suck on stage and doing stand-up, it's all you, man. It ain't nobody else. No, Leo. Leo's about to jump on the camera. No. We have a zoo here. So I like that about stand-up. I liked it if it was my fault. I mean, I knew I had to fix something with a band. A lot of times you can overlook it. Leo. No. I can't get a moment's peace in this house from anything. Nothing. If you notice, you don't hear the birds squawking. They're doing it. You just don't hear it. I'm in another room. I've had a lot of messages about that. The bird's squawking. I can't hear that. I'm going to smack you if you do that. No. Come on. So, I'm not going to smack my cat. I wouldn't do that. So, back to stand-up. It took a long time to get consistent. People say, oh, I'm going to kill it. I'm going to be a stand-up. I'm going to Killing it is not. I never use the K word or the C word, kill or crush. I don't. I had a bad experience with it years ago. It might have been that same festival. The crowd was great. They were laughing at everybody. I said, oh, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to crush this. And I sucked. I ate a buffet of dog shit for 12 minutes. I've never been uncomfortable or had any kind of stage fright because of the band. But it's weird when you're comfortable and you suck. It's different when you're comfortable and you're consistent. And that's what I'm getting to about the stand-up. Killing it every night is not what you should aspire to do. You should aspire for consistency. And that's where I figured it. I figured that out. I've actually figured it out on a trip to Utah when I worked out there for Tribble Run comedy tours I I did 26 or 28 different runs for them, some small, some short. The longest 28 days, the shortest 11 days. And there was trips with Triple Run, especially the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday night trips, weeks, if you had those, that you were 15 hours away from the other gig. So you would perform one night in South Dakota, and then the very next night you'd have a gig in Minnesota or Washington or whatever, and you would have to literally get off the stage. At the time, I'd already quit drinking, so it wasn't a big deal. But you'd have to get off the stage, start driving. Whenever you got so tired you couldn't drive anymore, you'd pull over, sleep for a few hours, and by the time you got into town, it was 5 or 6 o'clock. You had to take a shower. You had to be on stage by 7:30 or 8 o'clock. So there was three days every other week that you had that on Triple Run. I think, if I'm saying that right. But I did that many, many times, and I learned so much. And I was horrible. I was terrible. I didn't start really getting consistent and being able to really control my performance until I started working for Coconuts Comedy Club, which I'm booked there September 5th in St. Pete. Please come see us. My home club, Bob Shoemaker and his family. Without them, I wouldn't be the comic I am, and I wouldn't have learned, not that I'm that great, but I've learned a lot, and I've learned how to control my material. When I started working at Coconuts is when I really started getting consistent. I started working there in 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. And, I'd work 5 days a week there, 4 or 5 days a week there, and then I'd go on the road for a week or two. And you can see, there was an improvement within the first 90 days. Being able to work with people like Danny Bevins, Steve Eric, Tim the Dairy Farmer, Steve Reynolds, Chris Gorgeous, working with guys like that, really, Tom Simmons, Kostaki Kamanofilopoulos, I can't say his last name. I worked with all those guys a bunch of times, and I got to really learn a lot because I've been doing it now 15 years as a full-time job. They've been doing it like 30 years, and the difference is immense. I mean, you see a guitar player that's been playing for 15 years, you see a guitar player that's playing for 35 years, you may not see much of a difference because, the guy might be a shredder. With comedy, to me, is a big difference. I can really tell. You can really tell when you see a guy who's been doing it 25 years. Just the comfort level and the stage presence. But comedy is what saved me. Music saved me when I was in foster care, when I was a kid. I had, interesting childhood. And then I got to where I couldn't even look at a guitar because I was so drugged out. And, but comedy changed everything for me. And I was suicidal at one point because I was just so embarrassed about ruining my life. And comedy changed all of it. Once I started getting consistent, I started headlining in 2012. I shouldn't have. But I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere unless I was closing. So, and my first closing gig was in Kentucky. Was in, what was it? It was in an ABC store where when you pulled in the parking lot, you just saw the store, but it was on a hill. So if you pulled behind it, there was a bar like below it. There was no basement there, but it was kind of built into a hill. Paducah, Kentucky. ABC Super Rock Lounge or something. And my very first headlining gig was there, and the bar had a mirror. The bar was kind of like almost like a circle, but like a rectangle, and it had mirrors behind the bar, so no one was looking at me. There was like 40 people looking at the mirror with their backs toward me. That was my first headlining gig. But yeah, it really changed everything for me. It gave me a chance to, it was almost like therapy. I mean, I don't know how many people. I've been to a lot of therapy. When you're in foster care, it's mandatory. You got to have therapy pretty much every day. And it's done a lot for me because I get to run my mouth and just say all kinds of shit. But anyway, I'm sorry to be so long-winded. I haven't had any coffee. Haven't had anything yet. Still injured. You can still see my stitches. I'll get them out tomorrow. I just thank everybody I just want to thank everybody who's helped us with the channel. We're at about 13, 20 something now. People are really tuning in. We're almost at monetization. We just need a few more watch hours. And I just want to thank everybody because this has been a dream for me. It's been I aspire to be a YouTube creator along with my stand-up. I think it's very important. And YouTube has a lot of tough comments and people, not wanting you to succeed. But the majority of the people have been wonderful. I mean, I've had so many nice people contact me and go, "Hey, dude, I like you. You're cool. Keep doing what you're doing." And I will remain. I will keep doing what I'm doing. And I try to post something as much as possible, but I just don't want to post drivel. I want to post something that's cool, or at least something that means something to me. It might not be cool, but anyway, this is the room. We're going to be recording it here from now on. I'm going to post a bunch of stuff on the road. And I just thank you very much for everybody's help. Stick with us. Subscribe, like, hit the bell button. Don't forget to hit the bell button. I don't know why that stuck with me. But thank you very much. And you're going to be seeing a lot of me.